From Lagos, the nation's commercial capital, this is the news at 10, live from Channels Television. Reporting tonight,
Bimbo Oloide.
Hello and welcome. Tonight, Nigeria celebrates 54 years of its existence as an entity. President Goodluck Jonathan assures Nigerians that the fight against insurgency will be won. The president leads former heads of state, the National Assembly, the judiciary, and other top government officials to celebrate the country's 54th independence anniversary. INEC releases the notification for the 2015 general elections to political parties in Osun State. And student demonstrators in Hong Kong vow to step up pro-democracy protests.
And on business news tonight, the Lagos Chamber of Commerce and Industry hails the Nigeria's financial services sector, says it has done fairly well 54 years after independence.
While on sports news, Nigeria's Super Falcons promised to impress at the African Women's Championship as 5 expected foreign-based players arrive.
We begin tonight in Abuja, where President Goodluck Jonathan has been celebrating 54 years of Nigeria's independence. In his Independence Day broadcast earlier today, the president assured Nigerians that ending the insurgency in Nigeria's northeastern region is a war that will be won. He also urged Nigerians to join hands with his administration to tackle insecurity. Our correspondent, Sheung Okimbaloye, reports.
Nigeria has faced many challenges since attaining nationhood. Perhaps the most frightening yet is the fight against insurgency in the northeastern states. So it may have come as no surprise to many Nigerians when the president began his 54th independence anniversary address with words of sobriety because of a situation he refers to as a crisis of nationhood occasioned by the activities of terrorists.
To fight and win this war.
President Goodluck Jonathan took time to remind Nigerians that terrorists don't mean well for anyone and asked for a collective effort to fight terrorism. He also appears not to have thrown away the option of dialogue.
Those waging war against our country ask that you lay down your arms and embrace peace. To those who have genuine grievances, I have found that Nigeria will listen to you if you bring your grievances to the table of dialogue. I urge every Nigerian to put aside political, sectional, or other parochial considerations and support wholeheartedly the efforts of the government and the military in checking this evil.
It may be a major problem threatening the nation's development, but insurgency is just one of the many issues that need attention, and Dr. Goodluck Jonathan highlighted this fact in his speech about the national conference where Nigerians came together to attempt to solve some of the nation's myriad of problems. The president gave assurance that the confab recommendations will be implemented.
I made the commitment that we will act on the recommendations of the conference. This I have started by setting up the ministerial committee headed by the Honorable Attorney General of the Federation to work out the modalities for implementing the report. Every promise I make, God willing, I'll see to its fulfillment. I assure you, we shall implement the report.
One success story the president could not but mention is how the country was able to contain the Ebola virus disease. The president was full of praise for the resilience shown by every Nigerian in ensuring the disease did not spread like in other West African states affected by the EVD. The 2015 general election is another major event that Nigerians are looking forward to, and as many continue to join the race for elective positions, the biggest being the presidential seat, President Goodluck Jonathan says he is committed to delivering free and fair elections.
Our administration has made a commitment to ensure that we build and sustain a democratic infrastructure anchored on free and fair elections. We will continue to ensure that the will of the electorate prevails, so that political leaders will be reminded that at all times that there is a day of reckoning when they have to go back to the people at the polls. Election days must not be days of violence and death.
He concluded his speech with words of encouragement and the need for unity amongst all Nigerians.
As we look forward to another year in our national life, I am more than confident that our tomorrow will be better than our yesterday and today.
Sheung Okimbaloye, Channels Television News.
Meanwhile, the president has led former heads of state, the leadership of the National Assembly, the judiciary and other top government officials to celebrate the country's 54th independence anniversary. The event, which took place at the forecourt of the presidential villa, Abuja, featured the Presidential Change of Guards Parade. At the end of the parade, President Goodluck Jonathan signed the Independence Anniversary Register and released pigeons to signify peace.
The Guards Brigade is a special unit of the military. They are charged with the responsibility of the security of the president and the seat of government. They form at the forecourt of the presidential villa as part of activities lined up for the 54th independence anniversary, an occasion that attracted the Vice President of Nigeria, some past Nigerian leaders, all the service chiefs, and the Inspector General of Police, among other dignitaries, including the First Lady.
Please rise, please. Thank you.
The arrival of President Jonathan signaled the climax of the year's activities as he mounts the podium for the national salute. He joined other dignitaries at the VIP stand to salvo the presidential parade and the special change of guards clinically performed by the Guards Brigade.
We can see him. You can see the movement there. Very sharp.
There was a rehash of what happens as they inspect and take over from each other while on duty, with others dished out by their officers. The two colors on patrol, the national and the regimental colors, were also displayed.
In recognition of their services,
The president was joined by the vice president to sign the parade register before the release of the balloons and pigeons signifying the peace that prevails in the land. Other prominent Nigerians joined the president and the first lady in the cutting of the anniversary cake. Here is how some of them captured Nigeria's mood at 54.
We must all work together, government, opposition, in order to make Nigeria great.
We are where we are today. I think we should thank God. But as I said, we could have done much more than we did. If the leadership had been more focused, more committed, and if regimes and governments have been more stable and more enduring. But all in all, we thank God.
Well, we are facing our challenges squarely. We're getting matured as a nation, and I think it's good news. That's what I would say.
My wishes are that we will grow from strength to strength and get to old age and mature well and age gracefully. We just pray that we will have the spirit, the national spirit, to hold ourselves together and make progress.
The prayers from here is that Nigerians will begin to turn a new leaf as the country turns a new year. I'm Chukwuma Onwekusi, Channels Television News.
Ahead of the 2015 general elections, the President of the Senate, Senator David Mark, has cautioned politicians to desist from making inflammatory or treasonable comments capable of jeopardizing the smooth transition process. Senator Mark, who spoke at a special church service to mark the 54th independence anniversary at St. Mulumba's Catholic Chaplaincy, Abuja, said such actions or statements could create avoidable tension. Correspondent Linda Akibe reports.
Religion is a huge part in every facet of life in Nigeria, and it's no wonder that one of the ways to celebrate this year's Independence Day is to hold church services across the country. This is one of such services at the St. Mulumba's Catholic Chaplaincy, Abuja. Christian faithful, including federal lawmakers, gathered to offer prayers for Nigeria as the country celebrates another Independence Day. Delivering his sermon, the parish priest, Reverend Father Innocent Joji, canvassed for peace and unity among Nigerians as the only route to achieve progress.
On a very sad note, unpatriotic Nigerians and their allies are creating burdens and pains for us. They deliberately embark on unpopular and deadly missions, resulting in human and material disasters, either in the name of religion, ethnicity, or politics.
Senate President David Mark had a word or two for politicians as the country goes into elections in 2015.
People say, oh, power comes from God. We all say it, but we don't believe it and we don't practice it. Once we don't get it, we forget God. Then we say, well, this time around, God wanted to give us, but somebody else stopped it, so we must fight the person.
Some lawmakers for the service spoke of steps Nigerians must make to usher in a better tomorrow.
My message will be for families. I implore on families, mothers especially, to use this period of our anniversary to begin to redirect our children, because you find that most of the ills of our society is basically from the home. So if we can begin to play our roles as parents at home, especially mothers, I think our nation, will be better off for it.
The Independence Day celebration comes with sermons and charges on good governance. But the real challenge is what changes all this would have on governance and the nation. Linda Akibe, Channels Television News.
In part 2, after the break, INEC releases the notification for the 2015 general elections to political parties in Osun State. Do stay with us.